Hello and welcome back to KGC Classics, and today I'm going to show you around this MGB-GT that I have just finished restoring in the last couple of months. Those of you who have been following the channel for a number of years will know that this has been a very long project, a very intense one. It's had a complete strip down and rebuild, and it is now finally finished. It's got its MOT, so it's passed the minimum requirements to be on the road, and it is pretty much ready to hand back to the owner. So let's have a little tour around. So, as I said, this has been a long-term project and has taken quite a bit of time to do, mainly thanks to the COVID pandemic and a few other things that have also just made it difficult to get hold of parts and things that have needed to be replaced. So as you can see, all the bodywork is now obviously all done, finished, sorted, and it looks really good. It's a really nice example. It's come together really well in the end, and the colour, for those of you who are interested, is Old English White. The car is a 1967, so it's a Mark II GT, as it has the push button handle rather than the pull handle on the doors. It is also fitted with a Britax fallback sunroof. This causes many months of pain and anguish because the paint shop initially lost the framework for it, but then returned it just when I'd completed a new framework to go in, and we've had the cloth actually completely replaced and stitched in by somebody who, professional, who does it all the time. So we're on to the back end, and everything is as standard around the back. The only addition being an additional reversing light. Of course, on the later MGB-GTs, they are located around here on both sides of the overriders. This one, being a slightly early model, doesn't have that option, but with the wiring loom it came with it, so the option was there and was generally taken. So as I said, pretty much everything is, some of it's original, some of it is brand new. Bits that we haven't been able to actually replace is these upper side trims, because you just can't get them anymore, so unfortunately they're not the best, so it doesn't shine as brightly as some of the other bits of bright work on it, but it all holds together really well, I feel, and you've got the classic look of a really nice 1960s sports tourer. So if we crack open the boot, obviously we've got brand new trim throughout in here, so all new carpets, underfelt. All these parts in the boxes here are all spares and parts to put it back to original, and I'll go through some of the bits that we've changed in a minute. Obviously underneath here we've got the spare wheel and the relevant tools and things in there as well, and of course it does actually lock down through the proper tabs. I'm just leaving it open for the time being, just for convenience more than anything. So let's actually start and have a look at the inside of the cabin. So, as I said, it's all original spec inside trim. There's just some paper here on the floor just to cover the floor mats and the carpets, just to protect them whilst I've been manoeuvring it around. The seats are unrestored. We've not actually touched them, we've not replaced the material on them, but they are the original type that just flop forward as is expected for this era of car. Okay, so heading a little bit further in, if we go across to the controls, obviously we've got the original style map light, which would illuminates with the other lights. Original spec dash. The only additions are these under here. So we've got a 12-volt socket, which would mainly be used for like a sat nav. We've got hazard lights, we have an electric fan for the radiator, and the heated rear screen. On these earlier cars, these were never fitted as standard, so there was never any space in the original dashboard to use it, and it's just fitted in quite nicely under there with, you know, the correct period style switches to go with it. So everything's pretty much as original under here. We've got new map pocket down there as well for the passenger side, but it's had all new carpets and trim gone in, and like I say, everything is new apart from the seats, and the wheel is the original one as well. Looking above, obviously we have the underside of the Webasto, well, Britax style foldback roof, which is a case of just releasing and it'll go. Well, I'm not going to do it now because, well, it's a bit awkward to do it single-handedly, but it's easy enough to do. So let's have a quick look at what we've got under the bonnet. Okie dokie, so under the bonnet, the obvious first major change is the electric fan. Obviously, as standard, these were not fitted until the much later cars, and even then it was only a small fan just on the one side. This has mainly been as a customer's choice to take the fan off the pulley, off the water pump pulley, and to put it on there just for when you get stuck in traffic. It's a sensible upgrade, and in fairness, one that I think any classic car really ought to have these days for the inevitable time when you are stuck in traffic for hours on end. Other than that, some modifications are adapting it for a later style oil filter, so it has a screw-on oil filter rather than a canister to go in from underneath, and we have electronic ignition as well. Other than that, everything is pretty much standard. I suppose the other one is the servo over in the corner there. Other than that, everything's all done. Under here, everything's been completely refreshed and overhauled, with the exception of the engine. It's just had a bit of a clean up. The carbs are all completely rebuilt by a local specialist and set to factory spec, so they're all really good, and it pulls and drives really well once it's warmed up, which is, you know, kind of expected for a car of its age. Is that it's never going to perform as good as a modern car, but it's still going to perform pretty damn well. Other than that, that is pretty much it. Obviously keeping the original style bonnet prop rather than adding in the more newer telescopic things you can get these days to change it over. But there we are, that is the MGB. So there we are, that's a quick tour around this 67 MGB. As I said, it's pretty much now ready to go back to its owner. There's probably one or two little bits I just need to finish off on it, but nothing major. Obviously it's been a while since I've done an update for this channel, but I've had a lot of things going on, as well as obviously really focusing to try and get this finished as quickly as possible. Following on from this, the major work ahead is going to be to finally crack on and get back onto the Mini project. It has been a while since any work's been done on it, unfortunately. It's just time, weather and arts permitting, and obviously other projects like this have just been in the way, and I've had to take a bit of priority really. So hopefully the next video won't be too far away, and it should be all focused on the Mini, to be able to see the progress that we've been making on that. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little video. If you have, don't forget to give us a good old thumbs up. Also make sure that you hit the subscribe button, because it does help out a little bit. And until next time, happy classic motoring.